Hello, everybody. Mr. Schoner, where's that new car? Look at that. That is awesome. Congratulations. So cool. Are you loving it? You're muted, so I can't hear you.
Oh yeah, I'm loving it.
Awesome.
I just went today to do the write-up for the quote for wrapping it.
Awesome. I can't wait to see that.
I'm excited.
Nice little write-off as well. Write-off
Yes.
as an expense.
Yes.
Awesome. Congratulations, sir. For those of you just hopping on, Mr. Schoner just got his dream car, which is always really exciting. Hello, Mr. Cabrera. Hello, Master Bolts. Hello, Mr. Juan. Hello, Miss Steitzel. Hello, Mr. Markey. And Christian. I don't know if that's ma'am or Mr. Welcome, welcome. We're going to get started in about 2 minutes. We got people still coming in on the waiting room. Excited for today's topic. These are the actual 7 skills that I focused on to help me hit 7 figures. While we're waiting, why don't you guys let me know how long your school has been open? How many years has your school been open? Just drop it in the chat box. These webinars are a lot more fun when we're engaging back and forth. 23 years, Master Bolts. Very nice. Congratulations, Mr. Markey. 14 years. Awesome. We're getting ready to celebrate our decade in September. So can't believe it's been 10 years. It's been flying by. We're going to do a huge anniversary party, running the Maya system of kind of like doing a mass enrollment anniversary party. So really excited for that. All right, guys. We had about, oh, there we go. They keep popping in. Mr. Schoner, 20 as a part-time endeavor, now moving to full-time. What a, probably a scary transition, but also really exciting transition as well. Mr. Cabrera, I've operating schools for 8 years, just opened my own 2 months ago. Congratulations. That's actually how I got started as well, working in a Junri Institute, a Taekwondo school since I was 15, and then transitioned over to a BJJ school. I was the general manager, ran the kids program, and it was great because I got to learn how to run a martial arts school, but I was spending somebody else's money. So that was really awesome. And it really gave an amazing education to opening my own. So I'm sure you, have taken a lot of those years and experience and helping you to know what to do and what not to do, right? Hello, Miss Paulos. Hello, Mr. Rob. Hello, Mr. Timmerman. Okay, guys, let's dive into this. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Mr. Schoner says we're moving into a new location August 1st and doing a complete rebranding. That's super exciting. We help a lot of clients with their rebranding. There's a lot to it, especially on the digital end. So if you need any help when it's time, feel free to reach out and my team can help you with that. So all of these are recorded. I know I got a message from somebody saying they had to leave about halfway through. We will send out the recording before the end of business today. But just so you guys know, we actually host all of these webinars in a couple of different places. So I've done a webinar every month for almost 15 or 16 months now, almost a year and a half. This is my way of giving back. If you've been on these webinars, you're going to get actionable advice that you can implement. But if, I'm going to, as we go through some of these skills, if you want to dive into learning more of that skill, I've done other webinars on it. So if I say, hey, there's a webinar on this, you can actually access all of our webinars from either our YouTube page, or if you go to growproagency.com and you scroll all the way down to the bottom, we've got blog posts, we've got webinars, we've got these success stories. So you click on the webinars, and I mean, as you can see, there's a lot of dots there, from marketing foundations, launch processes, marketing plans, content creation, your customer journey. So I might link a couple of these or might talk about a couple of these, and you could just go to growproagency.com and you'll be able to find all of those. Okay. Awesome. I saw Mr. John Way is on here. This is kind of cool. So Mr. Way, his school has been open for so long in his community that they actually gave him a John Way day, in his community, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that? I saw that on Instagram and it just blew my mind.
Basically means I'm old. That's all it means. They gave me credit for being old.
Fair enough.
No, I've been in business for 20.
How'd you even get that started? Because this is really cool.
You know what? I think dealing with all the officials during COVID, they got to know me because, you know this, Chris, you're in Florida. They had let some of the businesses open, but not gyms. And we weren't classified as gyms. So I had an issue with that. So I brought it up. So they got to know me and somebody had nominated. And it was actually pretty cool, 25 years in business. And they gave us our own day. And, I was pretty excited. But basically means I've been around forever. So
that's so cool. 25 years in business, and he has his own John Way day. Thank you so much for sharing, sir. Super cool. I love it. All right, guys. So I have taught the 7 levels of marketing before. I'm not going to teach it today because there's a webinar on it. And there's a book as well that you can grab for free, just pay shipping and handling, that breaks down all of this, also gives you an implementation plan at the end of the book, right? But in order to be able to implement the 7 levels of marketing in your school, there's skills that you are going to have to develop. Many of you developed brand new skills in 2020. There were some of you that had never been in a Zoom room, never had to worry about utilizing that type of technology. There were school owners that didn't have Facebook groups, right? We developed a lot of skills, and not just our industry, a lot of other industries as well, because if you didn't develop those skills, you wouldn't be around anymore. And this, to me, skills, as you guys know, in the martial arts, that's something that nobody can ever take away from you. However, your skills can diminish if you don't continue practicing them, right? Which often happens when we open a martial arts school. Sometimes our own training gets put on the back burner because there's just so many different hats that we're having to wear. And that's important to remember in martial arts, that if we want to keep our skills tight and fresh, we have to practice them. And it's the same thing in marketing, right? And especially in digital marketing, because digital means evolving. It's always going to change, okay? Now, I want to kind of dive into, where's my keynote here? There we go. And you guys will get the copy of this keynote as well. But for those of you that are kind of brand new to me, Chris Rodriguez, I'm a BJJ school owner. I actually got my start in a Taekwondo school when I was 8 years old, Junior Institute of Taekwondo. Ended up falling in love with jiu-jitsu. And this is my school, my school that I opened in September of 2012. So we're celebrating our 10-year anniversary this year. I opened up I subletted a Zumba room from a 24-hour fitness facility. I always call those the good old days when my rent was only $1,000. And I think all of my expenses were like $1,500. And this was our grand opening day. And I was, talking with Mr. Cabrera here, who has ran schools for many years, but he just opened up his own. I had a lot of experience with running somebody else's school, but utilizing their money. And now I had to utilize my money. And I'm in Tampa, Florida. And if you're in Florida, you ever been here, it's really, really hot. And when I had opened my school, I was thinking of all of the different marketing strategies that I could implement. There's partners in education, there's being a PE teacher for the day, or volunteering to help with the car rider line, or putting rat cards out in other businesses, or flyering the movie theater parking lot, or putting bandit signs out. And all of those things, I was just like, it's 90 degrees outside. I don't want to do that. It's super hot. You know what I want to do? I want to sit in the comfort of my air-conditioned office and I want to launch ads. And that's really one of the main reasons why I focused and went all in on digital marketing. Besides the fact that it can produce great results, I also got to do it from the comfort of my office. Okay. Now, like I said earlier, I have done a webinar on the 7 levels of marketing. I've got this book. If you want a free copy, just reach out to me. We'll send you a free copy. You just have to pay shipping and handling. But what I want everybody to understand is, while these are the strategies that you should implement in your school, these 7 levels, you have to have a certain skill set in order to be able to do that. Now, the other thing is depending on whether or not you have a team, if you're a one-man, one-woman show, then these are skills that you're either going to have to develop yourself and spend the time and the energy, or outsource to another company by spending your money. And I always tell people, in our business, we always have to make a choice with the different marketing strategies and really any system that we're implementing in our school. I'm either going to spend the time and the energy and oftentimes the money, because I'm going to have to learn how to do it myself, or I'm just going to outsource and spend the money. And this really depends on where you're at in your school. But I do think that there are certain things that absolutely should be outsourced, just because it takes a lot of time and energy to keep up with the ever evolving platforms. So what I want to do real quick is I'm going to share my iPad here. And let me just make sure that it works. Can you guys see this 7 levels of marketing? I'm kind of dragging it up and down. We're good. So, some of the items on each one of these, there are multiple aspects to it, right? So for organic social media, if I say you need to be posting organically on social media, what does that mean? You need to be posting on Facebook with posts. We need to be posting on Instagram with posts, right? But we also, besides posts, what else can we do? We can do reels, which are videos. We can do stories that disappear after 24 hours. We now have, a newer platform in the mix with TikTok. All right. And I'm sure some of you are thinking like, man, I don't have the time or the energy for a new platform, but I know there's many schools that are leveraging this and they're not dancing. Don't worry, you don't have to dance, right? And then there's even like posting on your Google business profile. And to be able to do all of those things, there are skill sets. You're going to have to learn the platform. Then we have the next level of marketing, which is the website, your search engine optimization, your offer page. And this really comes down to what I believe should 100% be outsourced, which is this website. Okay. Most of us did not go to school and learn how to code. And there are plenty of website companies in our industry that specialize in martial arts schools, where they're going to be able to help you rank higher. This was actually, we do a level 10 meeting with everybody in our agency on Tuesdays at 9:15 in the morning. So we had it this morning, and we have a client that is really upset with us because he's not ranking on Google. And I think this is important for everybody to understand. So I'm just going to kind of do an aside here. If I do a search on Google here, okay, and I search for martial arts in your city, there are 3 places that your business can show up on Google, okay? One of those places is at the top. And all the way at the top, you have to do that with ads that cost money, okay? The second place you can show up is on Google Maps, all right? So imagine this is a map here. And there are usually 3 options on Google Maps. We call this the 3-pack. And the way that you can show up on the 3-pack is, one, it has to do with your location. From the place that the person is searching for you at, their location will determine what shows up here, because Google isn't going to show them a martial arts school that's 50 miles away. The other way we can show up are with reviews. And I've done a webinar on how to hit triple digit reviews. That should be your goal, hitting a minimum of 100 5-star reviews. And then finally, by optimizing your Google business profile. Now, Google business profile used to be known as Google My Business, but they recently rebranded. Before that, it was known as Google Places. Okay. But if you want to show up at the top organically, where all of these listings are, that has to do with your SEO, which ultimately has to do with your website. So if you're only running ads on Facebook, that is not going to help you rank higher on Google search engine results page organically, right? Because it has nothing to do with your search engine optimization. Now, if you're running Google ads, you can potentially show up here at the top, depending what your budget is, but those Google ads are not going to play a role in these organic listings, okay? And this is just really important to understand, and this is what I mean by leveling up your own marketing skills, so that if you do hire a company, you're understanding what they are there to do for you. If you hire a company like 97 Display, Website Dojo, Market Muscles, that's what they are there for, is to help you rank higher with the search engine optimization features that they build into your website, so you can show up organically higher on the list. Doing paid Facebook ads isn't going to get you higher organic listings, okay? And I just want to make that really clear when we're talking about this aspect of website SEO and creating offer pages through your website, okay? Next level is paid ads. And this is really where your Facebook ads come in, your Instagram ads, your Google ads, now your TikTok ads, okay? And paid advertising, I mean, I lump in paid advertising just digitally, okay? So I'm not talking about EDDM, every door direct mailers, because that's really where print marketing would come in. Next level, we have email and text message. These are your nurture sequences that once somebody opts into your website, or once somebody, you get their lead information, they are continuously getting emails and text messages. And one of my favorite things to do with this is called database reactivation. And this is where you just reach out to old leads. If you haven't done this in a while, I would love for you to go to your CRM, and I would love for you to look at the people that enrolled this month, in the month of May, everybody that's enrolled in the month of May. And most CRMs can tell you when the first point of contact was. And sometimes that first point of contact will be this month, but other times that first point of contact might have been a month ago, 6 months ago. Heck, maybe they came to a birthday party that you did a year and a half ago, but because you are continuously emailing and texting them with different offers and different educational pieces, that now they are ready to pull the trigger, and they choose you because you are ultimately in their mental Rolodex, as I like to say, because you've been staying in front of them, okay? Next up is print marketing. This is where your every door direct mailers come in place. This is where your flyers, this is where your rack cards. I mean, I would even put like your bandit signs, which are your road signs. I would also put, let me just get everybody muted here real quick. Sorry, guys. Awesome. I would even put like your flags, right? And for print marketing, most of us know how to do that on our own. That's not a super difficult thing for us to do. Then you got the phone call, which it seems like nobody enjoys doing, but it's the owners that actually pick up the phone and call, on top of texting and emailing, that have more success with lead follow-up and converting those leads into appointments, as well as new students. And then finally, we have our face-to-face, right? These are our open houses. These are our spring flings. These are different festivals that you go to, all right? So this is what I call having multiple lines out in the ocean. And when you are pushing a specific promotion, this is my recommendation, is to hit all 7 levels of these, okay? However, there are skills that you need to develop to be more successful when you are implementing these 7 levels of marketing. And that's what we're going to dive into now, okay? Before any sort of marketing occurs, you have to understand who your avatar is, okay? In the chat box, let's do this. Can we just get a couple of you to let me know who is your ideal client? Maybe you're an adult school, you teach Krav Maga, kickboxing, and jiu-jitsu, you don't do any kids programs. Maybe you are a kids only school, but who are the type of people that you want to attract to your facility? Maybe you're an MMA school and you're not trying to attract families. Who are you trying to attract? Master Bolt says families with kids between the ages of 3 and 17. Awesome. So Master Bolts, if I'm a parent and I call up and say I have a 2-year-old, I'm not your ideal client just yet, right? And I think this is where a lot of schools drop the ball with not understanding who they specifically want to attract to their school. So I used to get really bummed when people would come into my facility and they say they want to be UFC fighters and they didn't want to sign up at my school. Well, there is a school about 20 minutes away that they have like 6 UFC fighters on their roster. That's not the ideal person for me. And oftentimes in the beginning, when we're first starting our school, we will take everybody. We'll even, maybe take the kid that's 2 years old and 10 months, right? He's 2 months from turning 3 because we just want to take everybody in. And it's really important that you understand who your avatar is, because otherwise all of your marketing efforts, you might be marketing to the wrong people. I'm going to share with you here in a second an avatar sheet that's put together by Digital Marketer. And if you've never done this sheet before, I would do it. I jokingly say, and I'm going to put the jokes in kind of quotes, that our ideal prospect is a stay-at-home mom of 2 who lives in the Carrollwood and West Chase area, which are affluential areas that our school is near, who wears Lululemon yoga pants as she aimlessly wanders the aisles of Target with her fresh mani-pedi, sipping a Starbucks latte. That's who I want in my school. Why? Because 1, I know she's going to be able to afford our programs. 2, I know she's going to be able to bring her kids with the schedule that we offer, because we offer earlier class times. 3, I know that, she has multiple kids, which is going to increase the lifetime value of that family. That's how much I want you to pinpoint who the people are, because if you don't, when you start marketing and you start sending out emails and you start creating flyers and you start putting out ads and you say martial arts will help your child, usually we'll lead with a question. Does your child have focus issues? What type of kids do you think you're going to be attracting to your program if that's what you lead in with? You're going to be attracting kids that have a lot of focus issues. And I'm not one to say whether or not you should be taking them, but oftentimes in our ads, we will lead with things like that. And you've got to ask yourself, who are you attracting to your business? So again, I'm going to be giving you guys will get access to these slides, and you're going to get this customer avatar sheet. And you can grab this. You just Google Digital Marketer customer avatar sheet. It's something they give away for free on their website. But truly understanding what the goals and values are, right? I don't want adults in my facility that want to walk around, without their shirt on, and they don't want to have to wear our uniforms, and they like hearing curse words in the background. That's not our ideal adult student. So you should have this avatar not only for your kids program, if you teach a kids program, but also your adult program as well. And this is really the foundational starting place with your marketing. You got to understand who your avatar is. And that's a skill that you can develop by utilizing this spreadsheet or this worksheet, okay? So let's get into these 7 skills that in 2022, if you want to take your business, and it doesn't matter if it's a martial arts school, a dance studio, a marketing agency, a bounce house place, or a restaurant, this is what you've got to employ. Number one, your verbal skills and your skills on video. All right. I want to see in the chat box on a scale of 1 to 5. 5, I am an absolute rock star. Like I could win an Emmy because I'm so good on video. I feel comfortable. Give me a 5 if that's you when the video camera, that little red button hits record. Give me a 1 if you're like a wet mop on video. And I say that as kind of an endearing term, but there are certain people that are wet mops. So 1 to 5, Master Bolts 4.283746. Thank you, sir. That was a very specific number. Mr. Way, a 3, 2.5, 2 to 3, 2. Okay. Thank you for those of you participating. Mr. McElwee, 4. Awesome. Does anybody think video is going anywhere? Like, does anybody foresee that in our business, we're not going to have to use video in the future? Of course not, right? It's probably one of the most important skills that you or someone on your team needs to develop if it's not going to be you. And if you want somebody else on your team to develop that, you got to give them the tools and resources that they are going to need. Master Bolt says only when we create an AI to do it for us, right? Maybe in the future, there will be a robot that we can hire that can do all of our video marketing for us, okay? Some of the things that you can do, guys, to improve your video skills is 1, use a framework, okay? So if you're taking notes, I would write this down, use a framework. I teach a specific framework for creating scripts. We actually provide scripts to all of our Grow Pro clients on a monthly basis, depending on the time of the year and what the offers are that are going out. But if you are not using a framework, then it's going to be really difficult to know exactly what to say. And I'm not a huge fan of a script because when people use scripts, they sound like they're using scripts. I'm more of a fan of having a framework where you can plug and play, different phrases and sentences to be able to take your prospect from where they're at to where you want them to be, which depending on whatever the promotion is, maybe it's just getting their contact information, maybe it's getting them to download something, maybe it's getting them to sign up for a class, maybe it's getting them to purchase a trial, okay? The other aspect of developing your video skills is body language. Body language matters. You guys as instructors know this. And I think that most instructors actually have a better chance of being good on video because what you have been doing as instructing is you have literally been a public speaker for as long as you've stepped on the mat and you've started instructing. For some people, when they get on the mat, it's like a flow, that it's their natural habitat. But for whatever reason, you put one of these in front of them and they freeze. Okay. But I do think a lot of instructors have more of a knack to be better on video. So if this is not a skill that you as the owner wants to develop, it's one that more than likely one of your instructors will probably have an easier time. But body language, they say 55% of communication is nonverbal. 38% is vocal, which we know as instructors how our tone can make a student do something or stop a student from doing something. And then 7% is the words only, okay? Energy matters, all right? I make sure before I hop on any Zoom, before I start recording with a camera, that my energy level is where it needs to be. So am I going to wait until 8 o'clock at night to film the video for an ad that I want to put out? No, I'm going to be too tired. I know for me that in between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m., I call these my magic hours. That is when I am on. It's like all the endorphins from my workout that morning have kicked in. My caffeine from my coffee has kicked in. But your energy matters when you are on camera. Whether you need to jump up and down, get your heart rate up. I have a mentor that for whatever reason, he does this. He rubs his hands before he films a video, and that gets him in state, right? We need to get in state in order to be able to get really good video, okay? And at the end of the day, you just got to practice. If your student says, I want to get better at my sidekick, what are you going to tell them? Go practice your sidekick, right? Same thing with our ability on video. And I can tell you guys from, we spend a little over $100,000 a month on Facebook ads for martial arts schools. So what that means is we have a lot of data, right? And from that data, I always say math is the path. We can tell our clients what we're seeing is working. And typically, not all the time, but typically videos will outperform just regular images. What's the pushback we get from clients? I don't have time to film. And it's not that they don't have time. We all have 24 hours in a day. How come some of you can and some of you can't? It's usually a confidence level. It's one of those things like, oh, I'm not good at it, so I don't want to do it. The only way you're going to get better is practicing. Okay. But video, feeling comfortable on video is 100% a skill that you need to develop to be able to market your school in the best way in 2022. Any questions on video marketing before we get to the second skill? And it's not going anywhere, guys. The pandemic even sped this up even more, the importance of utilizing video and feeling comfortable on it. Okay, awesome. Number 2, the second skill are your written skills. All right. And some of you, maybe you crushed English and writing in high school and in college, and others, completely shiver at the thought that that's something that they have to do. But in the marketing world, we call this copywriting. Okay. And when you truly think about everything you do in your business, I want you to understand everything we do is copywriting. And what copywriting is writing to persuade. When we send an email out about our parent night out event that we're hosting in 2 weeks, what are we trying to do? We are trying to persuade the reader to sign up for the parent night out event. When we're creating flyers for a buddy week, what are we doing? We're trying to create a flyer that's going to persuade the buddy to show up to our facility. The copy on your website is persuading them to give you contact information. Okay. Everything we do in our companies, even the conversations you have when you are walking the lobby and you're asking the dads, last month in May, we had our Mother's Day event. This month in June, we're having our Father's Day event where you get to earn your camouflage belt. Have you put this on your calendar yet? That is me speaking to them in order to persuade them to do something. And I think sometimes the word persuading someone kind of gets a bad rap, kind of like the word sales, right? But what we're really just trying to do is just to serve them because we know that this is a great experience for them. Okay. But literally everything you do in your company is copywriting. And there has got to be somebody on your team that can write to persuade, that can write using proper grammar. I mean, one of the things that we do when we go to hire program directors, because a program director is the person that is going to be communicating back and forth on the phone and on email. We do this in our agency when we're hiring anybody for the marketing team. We do it for the martial arts school when we're hiring somebody for a program director position. But we actually have an assignment that they have to do, and we give them a scenario. For instance, here's the scenario. At Gracie Pack, we offer a tunnel of fear on the child's birthday. That's where everybody gets in a straight line. They put their feet apart. The birthday kid army crawls underneath everybody's legs and everybody spanks them on the butt. I know it seems silly, but the kids freaking love it. They beg for their birthday tunnel of fear. So we present a scenario where a parent has emailed us and they're really upset because it was their child's birthday. We did not do the birthday tunnel of fear. How would you respond to that email? Why do we do this? Because we want to see what their writing skills are. We actually put assignments in that hiring process to see if they're going to be a good fit. I think we'd all agree that a program director needs to be able to send professional communication back and forth, right? So the second skill is this written skill and this ability of copywriting. Now, I did a webinar on a framework that we use for emails, because one of the biggest mistakes that I see school owners make is they do these blast one-off emails, right? We just had Mother's Day a few weeks ago. We have Memorial Day this upcoming weekend. Me personally, I'm not a huge fan of marketing on Memorial Day. This is just a personal thing for me. I think that I don't know. I just, for me, I don't want to try to push offers on Memorial Day, right? To me, it's about honoring our fallen. But even if you were to push an offer on Memorial Day, or we've got Father's Day coming up, or July 4th, what most school owners do is they just send a one-off blast-off email. How many of you have checked your email today already? Put a 1 in the comments if you've checked your email already today. All right, I see a lot of 1s coming in. More than likely, you deleted more emails than you actually read. Right? I know I did. I've deleted more emails than I've actually read. And oftentimes, if you just do a 1 blast off email, your subscribers, just people in general, are just so used to hitting that delete button. Okay. So this is why you've got to send multiple emails out. And I did a webinar on a 6-step email framework that I use when we're pushing a big promotion. And it teaches you step by step. Email number 1, this is what needs to be in it. Email 2, email 3, email 4, so on and so forth. Okay. Do all of your email campaigns need to be 4, 5, 6 steps? No. You know, honestly, like for a parent night out, we can send 1 email and it's sold out. It's just because of the amount of students that we have and the amount of students that we can take on a parent night out. But let's say you're doing an anniversary special, or you have a July 4th special coming up. You cannot get in this habit of just doing one-off emails. And we typically do just because it's easier, or we don't know what to say in the follow-up emails. So if this is a skill that you need to develop, this written skill, go to the GrowPro website and you'll see there's a webinar on how to craft emails appropriately. Okay, but this is a very, very important skill that you need to develop. There are companies out there. So we use a company at GrowPro called SEO Content Hero. And what they do is they have professional copywriters. And guys, if you ever want another career and you like writing, look into copywriting, because professional copywriters, they make $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 a year salary. I mean, I got quoted to write the copy on our GrowPro website when we launched 3 years ago, not to build the website, just to write the words that would go on the website. They wanted $5,000 for that. It just completely blew my mind, because I never really had looked outside to outsource, you know, that type of writing. But if you do have, you know, a big, let's say, email series, and I'll use the example of like an anniversary party that you're having, and if you're trying to utilize it like a mass intro where you're actually running classes during the party that you're putting on to sign people up, you might want to consider outsourcing it to a professional copywriter. Okay. Now, I do think that some copywriters, when you read what they're throwing down, it feels like almost a little used car salesman. And that's why I really like SEO Content Hero, because their copywriters are really, really spot on. But that is the second skill that you need to develop. So in the chat box, 1 is you write like a first grader. 5 is I should be making $80,000 a year on my copywriting skills alone. Let me know in the chat box. All right, a 2, a 3. Don't be scared. Mr. Cabrera being honest. He's like, I got to go back to first grade. Thank you, sir. All right, awesome. As you can see, there were no 4s and 5s. And in the previous question that I asked with skill number 1 with video marketing, there was. And I do think that this is, you know, I don't want to say it's a weakness, but it is a weakness in general in our industry, is the ability to write to persuade. Okay. All right. Number 3. Our project management skills. You know, as the owner, you might not really consider yourself a project manager, but I am here to tell you that you are managing a lot of different projects that are going on in your school, whether you want to call it project management or not. And I just kind of want to use this example of like the 7 levels of marketing, right? Let's say we were having a buddy week at our academy. If we're kind of doing all 7 of these levels, that means we're creating the event on Facebook. That means we're scheduling out posts. That means we have like an online sign up for people to sign up for it. We could potentially write a blog that we put on our website showing the benefits of training the martial arts with your friends, launching paid ads, writing the email and text message series, creating a 4x4 graphic that you can print out to hand out to all of your students so they can hand those out to their friends. Making phone calls to any previous leads, letting them know, hey, it's buddy week. Would you like to come in? And then, working the lobby. Those are a lot of different kind of to-dos that need to get done. And project management is your ability to manage yourself or your team so that it's actually going to get done. Now, definitely dependent on your personality. I would kind of put myself more in like an A-type personality. I enjoy being organized. If something is, not organized, it gives me a certain level of anxiety. And I know not everybody is like that, but there are platforms out there that basically can create a visual representation of all of the different steps that would need to get done for a big marketing campaign. And there's websites like monday.com, there's Trello, there's ClickUp. And what they basically do is they utilize what's called a Kanban board. Okay, it's this visual representation of all of the different items that would need to get done for a big marketing campaign, right? So let me just kind of draw what that Kanban looks like. And let me grab a different color here. And all it is basically these different columns, and you would have an ideas column, you would have a what is going to get done this week column, you would have a what I am doing right now column, you could have an assist column because you need help, and then you have a done column. And then you would take all of these different items that need to get done for that marketing campaign, and you'd say, okay, we've got, let's say, 5 different ideas here. And this week, we're going to be focusing on idea 1 and 2. So we would move that over to that column. We would take that idea and move it over to that column and say, this is what we're doing this week. You say, okay, well, what I'm going to be doing right now is going to be this first one, and we would move it over here. And what this just basically does is it gives you a visual representation of the items that need to get done for whatever that particular marketing campaign is. Oftentimes, it is just due to lack of organization on why all these items do not get done for whatever promotion it is that you're doing. And again, certain promotions, you're not going to have to do all 7 of these, right? Like I gave the example of a parent night out event. We can send 1 email. I don't need to do ads. I don't need to send out tons of emails. I don't need to do a printout because we have this culture in our school that we've been doing parent night outs for so long. It's such a great service. The parents really enjoy it. It's affordable. It gives them a night off that they see the value. They don't have to market it as hard compared to a grand opening, compared to an anniversary party, compared to a holiday event or a Christmas in July promotion that you are utilizing. Okay. So I truly believe that it's lack of project management, this ability to manage all of these to-dos that really hurt school owners without, it ceases their ability to get all of these lines out in the ocean per se. Okay. Any questions on project management? Because you don't hear about this a lot in our industry. And I know there are some CRMs that actually have this kind of Kanban board ability, but guys, I use a whiteboard and Post-it notes. Kind of hard to see over there, but that's my Kanban board. And that's how I stay on track of what needs to be done. But I mean, you could even use like a sheet of paper, okay? But there's just so many different marketing actions when you're doing big promotions that it is really helpful to be able to stay organized to make sure all of those items get done, okay? Next skill, number 4, website management. Okay. You need to be able to easily navigate your website, which is why I am a fan of outsourcing it, not having your second cousin that went to graphic design school for a semester and they think they can throw something up on WordPress for you. Okay. I do believe that this aspect should 100% be outsourced. They gave you a couple of different companies. Me personally, I enjoy working with Market Muscles. the most, because this is where you track your leads. This is where you can update your offer. This is where you can update a schedule. This is where you can hopefully blog. If you can't do these 4 basic items on your website is not what I would say in the year of 2022. Okay. But somebody, whether it's you or on your team, needs to be able to navigate this website and manage it, because your offer is going to change, your schedule is going to change, you're going to want to post blogs, and you're going to need to stay up to date with your leads. Okay. Skill number 5, social media management. And I think this is probably one of the most frustrating, because it is always changing. It's always changing. TikTok just made the announcement about a month or so ago. You can now upload up to 10-minute videos on TikTok. Why is TikTok doing that? Because they're trying to compete with YouTube. And what has YouTube recently launched? YouTube Shorts, which are short videos, because they're trying to compete with TikTok. I just wish each platform would just stay in their lane and do what they are known best, but they're always trying to add these new features on there. And that's what can make the social media management aspect really frustrating, is that it's just constantly changing. Okay. Now, I am a fan for Facebook and Instagram specifically to utilize Creator Studio. Not a lot of people even know that this is a feature that you can use. If you go to your Facebook business page and you go to settings and you go to publishing tools, it'll actually bring you to Creator Studio. And this is where you can actually schedule out, not just posts, you can schedule out reels, you can schedule out stories. And what we're going to get to in a second is this kind of idea of batching. But it makes this ability to make sure that you are consistently posting on these platforms, which shows that your business is active online. Okay. I believe that you need to be on these 5 platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Google Business Profile. It has an asterisk because it's technically not social media, but it does have a social media aspect where you can post on your Google Business Profile. I've done 2 webinars on this. If you look, it's going to say Google My Business, because like I said earlier, when I was sharing my iPad screen, they've recently rebranded TikTok and YouTube. If you haven't kind of gone all in on Facebook, I wouldn't worry about trying to get on TikTok or trying to get on YouTube. You really want to get one channel down before you move to the next. I'd rather you kind of be like a blue belt in Facebook before you move on to Instagram, as opposed to white belt in all of them, because they're constantly changing and they can be very, very time consuming. Okay. But I am a huge fan of using Creator Studio because it just kind of makes the posting for Facebook and Instagram really, really easy. And guys, if you have not updated or optimized your Google Business Profile, to me, this is the most important one that you need to be focused on, because this can really help your visibility on Google. I showed you there's 3 places you can showcase on Google: ads, maps, which we call the 3-pack, and then organically with search engine optimization. And your Google Business Profile can help you showcase higher on the maps as well as organically. Okay. Next up, analytics. And I think this is one of the harder things with digital marketing, is to be able to give attribution. So what attribution is basically stating this is who gets the credit for bringing in this student. So let me pose this situation. Okay. Let's say I drive by your school, and your school is hidden. It's in the back, but you have some martial arts flags out front. Okay, that's how our school is. We're like in an industrial flex space, which is way in the back. I love that kind of feel for MMA schools, really high ceilings, but we don't have any road signage. So we got marketing flags. Okay. So let's say you drove by my school, you see our blue martial arts flags, and you're like, oh, that's cool. There's a martial arts school. And then you pull into the local pizzeria, and we put rat cards in that pizzeria, and you see our rat cards inside the pizzeria. On that rat card, it has our website. So you go to our website, you type in graciepack.com. Because we have the pixel on our website, The next time you go to Facebook, you see a retargeting ad that has our offer from Gracie Pack. You click on that offer, you put your information in, and now we have your contact information. Who gets the attribution? Who do you think? Is it the flags? Is it the rat card? Is it my website? Is it my Facebook ads? It's not that easy because of all of the different touch points. You can't say that it was this one touch point, which is the reason that pushed them over. It was those multiple touch points, right? Master Bolts, you are correct. Facebook would get the credit because Facebook was the last place that they landed. However, they wouldn't have gone to Facebook if they didn't go to my website. They wouldn't have gone to my website if they didn't see my rat card. They wouldn't have potentially seen my rat card if I hadn't put it in there and I've had a B2B relationship with that pizza place. I'm just trying to prove the point that because of all of these different marketing platforms that we now have, it can be difficult to give attribution and specifically say it's solely because of the Facebook ad. Well, they wouldn't have got the Facebook ad if they didn't go to my website. Does that make sense, guys, in terms of attribution? Okay. So just something to consider when you are looking at the analytics, all right? Every platform, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, each platform will give you analytics. They'll be able to show you like what's the best time for posting. In our school, it's 9 a.m., noon, and 5 p.m. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? People get to work. They don't normally just start working. They start messing around on social media. It's lunchtime. What are they doing? They're on social media. It's end of day. What are they doing? Right? And these different platforms can show you when people are engaging the most. One of the most important analytics, and I want you guys to write this down for you to look up, is with your Google business profile. Okay. And you can get to your Google business profile. They're actually changing this. Imagine that. They're changing this. Let me pull it up here. Google My Business. So the domain name is business.google.com. Okay. And if you've claimed your listing, you can click on it and they're going to they typically will give this little pop-up because they're getting rid of this platform. And this is another major change that Google Business, as you can see, it's now called Google Business Profile that they're making because they are getting you or wanting you to edit this from Google itself. So you can now edit your Google. Let me get some of these apps that I have off of here. So I can actually edit my Google business profile right from Google. And they're going to be discontinuing this profile manager. But one of the cool things that you can look up is under calls, it will actually tell you when you get the most phone calls. Now, if you go in there and you're seeing 12 p.m. is the #1 time that you're getting phone calls, that's what it is for our school, but you don't have anybody answering the phone until 2 p.m., would that maybe shift your mindset on when somebody needs to be picking up the phone in your school if you're getting all of these missed calls at that particular time? Right? So every single one of these platforms have analytics that you should be going in and looking at. In the least for Google Business Profile, when are the #1, when are you getting the most calls? It'll even give you a missed calls. It'll let you know these are how many calls that you missed because nobody picked up. It went straight to voicemail versus this is how many have been answered. Okay. And it'll also give you the time. So if you have if you're an offsite owner like me and you got a program director that is missing a call at 6 p.m., why is she missing that call? Or why is he missing that call at 6 p.m.? They're there in the facility. Okay. So I need to be looking at those analytics. And like I said, every platform, has their own easiest ones. Check the Google Business Profile and check the best posting times and the highest engagement posts on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Last up, as we wrap up here, guys, and I think, me just kind of showcasing and going through these skills, you're seeing how these platforms are just constantly changing, which means you have to research. You have to consistently research to stay up to date, which if you enjoy marketing, you geek out on this stuff, you're like, this is really cool, that's awesome. But if I'm going through this and you're like, I don't like doing that, I don't want to do that, I ain't got time for that, then these are things that you should consider outsourcing. And I'm not saying you got to outsource to my company, but outsource to a company that has a proven track record of specifically helping martial arts schools. Okay. I wanted to give a couple of different resources that I like to use. So I'm going to drop it in the chat here. If you do kind of geek out on this stuff, these are four different resources that we use. One is called Boot Camp Digital. They have tons of courses from social media management to running ads to Google ads, Facebook ads, to how to use TikTok. And you can actually have like a monthly recurring membership. It's only $99 and you get access to all of their courses. And what's cool is they actually have quizzes in there. So if you wanted to outsource this to your program director, they can actually have to take the quiz to prove that they understand. Another great resource is Digital Marketer. This is Ryan Dice's business, one of the kind of the first people on the scene. John Loomer is great for Facebook ads. If you're running your own Facebook ads, he has a membership program. It's $150 a month called the Power Hitters Club. They'll like help you if you're running into any trouble with your Facebook ads. And then Social Media Marketing by Michael Stelzner. He's got an amazing podcast that I would not be pushing it if I didn't think it was worth your time. So these are just a couple of different resources that I wanted to provide to you. If you are somebody, you're like, Chris, I like doing this stuff, I want to learn more. Maybe you have multiple businesses, so it makes sense for you to develop these skills because you can implement them elsewhere. Okay. Kind of just a little bonus tip, guys. And, at the end of the day, you can't just do this stuff once in a while, right? You can't just post on your social media page, all right, I'm going to post this week, and then I'm not going to post for another 6 months. You have to have consistency in order to gain visibility. And that's what we're doing with marketing. We are trying to get more eyeballs on our business. We don't just want to get their eyeballs, though. We want to get their brains and we want to get their hearts, because that's how we get them to commit. But at the end of the day, if you are lacking visibility, if you are lacking people coming through your door, more than likely, it's also a consistency issue. You're just not being consistent, right? You're not making those small, smart choices every day for a considerable amount of time, which ultimately yields great results, okay? Last up, everybody, when they think of marketing, they think of gaining new students, okay? Marketing isn't just marketing to gain new students. It's also to retain the students you have. It's a pretty well-known fact that businesses need to do three things in order to be successful. They got to get clients, they got to get the clients to pay them more, and they got to get those clients to pay more often. And that's where having solid retention in the martial arts industry, 5% attrition, meaning you're losing 5% of your student base every month, is the average. I don't know about you. I don't want to be average. So if you have 100 students, on average, you're going to lose about 5 per month. So if you gain 5, but you lose 5, you're still stuck at that 100. And I think just so much time and effort and energy is spent on recruiting and the marketing to recruit students that we don't spend enough time on retention-based marketing. What you're doing to continue to market your own students. One of my instructors always said, at the end of a class, a student, when they leave, they're either one step closer to black belt or they're one step closer to quitting. Obviously, we want them to be one step closer to black belt. And that's where all of your different retention strategies come into place, whether you're doing, good job calls, sending "You Are Awesome" cards, running events where they get to hang out with their friends. That's such an important aspect of having a successful school, okay? If you want to level up any of these marketing skills, I'm bringing back my 8-week marketing mastermind. It starts June 1st, a week from tomorrow. If you're a client of mine, we're doing a coupon code. Just reach out to me and I can send it to you. But we are diving into free traffic from Facebook. I'm teaching you how to run ads for your own school, TikTok foundations, Instagram, Google business profile, retention and referral based marketing, which is what I just told you about, and then how to create a marketing calendar. So this is actually, I launched this course about 5 years ago. The last time I did it was COVID was just starting, and that's the last time that I ran it. So it's been about 2 years now. I literally get asked on a weekly basis to bring it back. I've been asked so many times that I'm like, all right, it's time to bring it back. So if you're interested, when we send out the replay, we'll put the link in there. But I'm really excited about it because I just haven't taught it in a while, and I'm just pumped to be able to offer it. I'll drop the link here as well. Any questions on anything we went over or anything marketing related before we wrap up today? No. Mr. Christian, what's for lunch? Anything good? Making me hungry there. Awesome, guys. All right. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. Thanks so much for spending the last hour with me, and I'll talk to everybody soon.